Alrighty, we're back. It's been a minute. Sorry guys, every Sunday so far for the past 3 weeks I've just been hammered with meetings. I am starting to think that I need to do these live streams on like Wednesday if Sundays keep being a problem between open houses and meetings so far, which are great for business, but not so good for doing live streams. So, and I don't even know what I'm going to talk about today. Actually, let me look at my comments that I've gotten recently, and I'll answer some of those. So maybe some of those people will come back on later on and watch this video. I seem to get decent views on the live stream videos too. Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw my 1 acre video over Harper Estates, but I actually had someone reach out to me and was like, hey there, awesome info, you are correct, you will not find Wyatt James online anywhere. Wyatt James has built their company on referrals, handshakes, and happy homeowners. So basically, like, there's no other website. I don't know if this person actually like works directly with Wyatt James, or maybe they're an agent that sells their homes or something, but they said they'd be happy to fill me in on their history and quality of construction. Now, I've walked through some of the Wyatt James. Last week, I had like 3 calls from people over Wyatt James, so I don't know if just my Wyatt James video. I think now people are seeing some of the new construction communities coming around Salina with that builder's name, and maybe they're searching up that, and there's like there's nothing online. Like when I have these conversations with these families, they're like, do you work with Wyatt James? And I'm like, no, I'm just a real estate agent, but the build quality, when I walked in through it, I've never done an inspection on a Wyatt James, but when I walked in through that house, I was actually kind of impressed, so I felt like it was fine. So I'll try to reach out to that person. I'm trying to get their information to, learn more about Wyatt James, because they're also coming into the Harper Estates over there. I also don't expect a whole bunch of people to join today because I've been slacking for the past 3 weeks, so people, maybe they just gave up on the live stream, and I'm going to try to get back to it, but like I said, it might come down to me doing this Wednesdays at my place instead of coming up to the office on Sundays. We will just see. I need to make like a little desk office area to maybe do live streams at my place. Brianna Baby 03 says, cookie cutter homes so close, and that neighborhood has added so much traffic onto a 2-lane road. She was talking about Sonoma Verde, that Perry home I walked through, which, if you're calling a Perry home a cookie cutter home, I don't think Dallas is the home market for you, because I'd put a Perry home or a Highland home on. I mean, I understand what she's meaning by cookie cutter. It's like all these production builders, they're going in and building all these houses. But if you want like a true cookie cutter, go to like a Meritage, a D.R. Horton, go to that community if you want like a true cookie cutter. I feel like this word cookie cutter gets thrown out to all these builders, when in reality, more of those higher end production builders are usually not cookie cutter. I mean, I understand what she's meaning by that, but I'm just saying I think there's a time and a place for it, and the Perry home isn't quite on the cookie cutter, for my definition of cookie cutter. Another person left a message here that said, in the Hillside Village community in Salina, it's disappointing to see that despite being situated close to the road, no soundproofing walls have been erected to mitigate noise pollution. This oversight significantly affects the tranquility of the area. The absence of key amenities like a gym and community gathering spaces greatly undermines the overall value and appeal of living here. As the community is very small in size, it's a cozy place to live if you are not considered about trails. A lot of grammar going on in here. No gathering spaces, very less greenery, and absence of gym is very odd in this community. All amenities are close to 60 lots, but nothing close to 50 lots. Check other communities like the parks at Wilson Creek, Bluewood, Wilson Creek Meadows, Light Farms, Cambridge Crossing. So I just thought it was a little ironic that this person was talking about how this community, Hillside Village, and let's just pull up Hillside Village so you guys know what I'm talking about here, but I just did a video over that community. Let's see if it takes me. Okay, so this community is in here. Let me change it to this. So when I was in the community, these cars on Preston aren't really, like, they're moving, but there's a couple lights in here that they're not like just flying down like a highway system. So when I was in the community, I didn't really notice the noise. I mean, yeah, if an 18-wheeler drives by and honks their horn or something, yeah, you're probably going to notice that. But going down Preston turns into 289, so sometimes I refer to it as 289, but Preston right here, it's not really back up straight. Like, there's some commercial developments in here that block out that road noise. It was interesting that they left a comment about Hillside Village and kind of nagging at that whole noise. Can I not speak today, bro? Can I not pronounce words today? I don't think so. The noise pollution on that side. Meanwhile, they said to look at parks at Wilson Creek or Cambridge Crossing, and if we know anything about Cambridge Crossing, you would know that the Collin County Outer Loop is literally running right in the middle of it. Now, are they going to be doing in 5 years building up landscaping? Like, the developer has shown in there that they're going to be doing like some soundproof vegetation and sound barriers, but I mean, this is going to turn into like a pretty legit highway system at some point. So I just thought it was a bit ironic that they were kind of throwing shade at Hillside Village for being kind of close to Preston Road in noise pollution, but then they're telling people to go look at the parks at Wilson Creek and Cambridge Crossing when you have an even larger highway system going through that area as well. So, I don't know. I think user-GJ8JW8RJ8M needs to get their ducks in a row. And yeah, I would honestly say for Hillside Village, usually those size communities don't have a swimming pool in them. So the fact that that one does, I would say that the amenities are kind of on the higher end of things rather than the lower end of things. This whole like absence of a gym, you guys got to understand, like, the gym stuff doesn't always go into every neighborhood. It's really only going into the ginormous master plan communities, and those communities usually have like a pit or a mud. So at least Hillside Village has some type of amenity center, walking areas, green spaces, and you're not paying as expensive of an HOA with the gym. I mean, even Star Trail doesn't have a gym in it, but you're not having to pay for a pit or a mud. I really find like the neighborhoods you're having to pay for a pit or a mud are the ones that are more on that side of things, where it's just a whole bunch of stuff within it. JR007X says, great video, thanks for sharing. That was on the Hillside Village. Maybe they're looking at Hillside. This person's Alan Smith 6702 says, actually, let me add in here. Comment a builder neighborhood area to view. Alright. I'm really just going to keep talking to myself until more people join in here, but I don't think ever. But I think what happened was I've just gone these past 3 weeks not doing a live stream, and I think people just gave up on me. So we're 10 minutes in and we've gotten about 2 views. So we're going full throttle. Okay, so this person says the Google satellite imagery of this development shows not a single house built, but the neighborhood now looks completely full, and this video is 6 months old. My mind is blown how fast Texas builds homes. And then I commented back, they putting these homes together like Legos, and this was the East Ridge where Meritage is building. So back into that cookie cutter thing I was saying, Meritage is, I would say they're more on that actual definition of like what a cookie cutter home is to me in that sense of things. I just see people throwing that cookie cutter out to names like Highland Homes and American Legend. I'm like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but no. And if you're saying that about those builders, then you shouldn't be buying a house in Dallas because you're never going to be satisfied. He commented back, Alan Smith commented back and said, yeah, I don't know how old that Google satellite imagery is, though. I know they just updated some parts of DFW, but some other parts, especially western edges of Fort Worth, is still really old. I wish Google was more consistent in their satellite imagery updates. Yeah, I mean, they're moving things pretty quick. Another thing I would just think about, if you're looking at builders right now, definitely, like, you're going to have builders that have quick move-ins, right? And these quick move-in homes or move-in ready homes, you're not able to see how before the foundation was poured. You're not able to see maybe what's behind the walls. You're really only able to do that third-party inspection right at the end of time, when you're 30 days out, 60 days out from closing. Now, you have some people like Lennar who are building homes like over in Spiritus Ranch, and they're not selling any homes, right? They're not selling any homes until it's 60 days out from closing, which is a bit sketch to me. So, you've had Meritage, Trophy Signature, you have some of these other builders where they'll go into a neighborhood, they'll just build out inventory homes. Now, they'll go under contract with that house, a little bit further out than 60 days. Now, majority of those homes are still going to be able to close within 3 months. I just find it pretty sketchy that a builder is going into a whole neighborhood where they're building like 1,000 homes or 500 homes, and they're not allowing any buyers at all to buy a house before 60 days out. So that just, I don't know. That's a bit sketch to me. This is a little I don't know. I have people that go with Lennar, which is fine. I'll do business with Lennar. Now, if you call, like I've said before, if you call me about D.R. Horton, I'm usually kind of just like, But then again, I've seen inspection reports on very low-end builders be better than very high-end builders. I think at the end of the day, it's all about your superintendent. I have people that come in, they're like, oh, well, I have a friend that bought I was talking to a lady last week. She's like, I have a friend that bought a Kindred home. Are they a good builder? Are they okay? And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, yes, the name is something and has a reputation to it, but it also comes down to like, who is the actual person that is on your build job? Like, who is that superintendent that is hiring out the contractors? What's their experience like? Because you could have a builder, let's say like Highland Homes, who's been building in the Dallas area for 40 plus years, but they might have an actual person on your build that's maybe just been building houses with Highland Homes for 3 years. Okay, and they maybe have a little bit less experience than maybe one of the other builders within one of the other superintendents that's been building out houses for 20 years. So that's another question to ask your builder is like, okay, great, you guys have been building homes in general in Dallas for 40 plus years, that's cool, but how long has the actual superintendent been building homes? And see what their experience is, and then start building a really good, relationship with that superintendent. Because I've seen things turn really sour with people because things just aren't handled right, or expectations just aren't set quite at the beginning. Another person says, why would someone want to know the updates on Building and Prosper? Well, that's a no-brainer. Prosper is beautiful, safe, and where it's at. If you didn't know, now you know. They were commenting on one of my new development videos that I did over Prosper, and I would say, yeah, a lot of people are wanting to move to Prosper. Here's a good one. Always Cy Curin, I think I'm saying that right. I don't know. They commented 5 days ago on a new development video. They said, which I appreciate, they said, indeed, the best YouTube channel covering the North Dallas area, which, I'll take that I'd rather have those compliments come in every day than get subscribers the subscribers are cool and everything, but it's really like those nice comments that probably mean the most to me, or the people that returning viewers each day. Because I'll notice some people that leave comments over and over again, just putting out nice things, which is always kind of a boost of confidence for me. It just makes me want to make more videos. So they commented, quick question, what would you recommend, by the way, Spiritus Ranch Little Elm versus Legacy Hills Salina, considering home value appreciation 5 to 6 years down the line? I understand that I will have to spend $80K extra to get similar size home in Legacy Hills. Alright, so I think this also comes down to like how you want to live and what amenities you want within your community. I would tend to think that something like Legacy Hills, where it's going to be, there's a new school that's going to be built in Spiritus Ranch, a new elementary school, and with that new elementary school, it should bring a better school rating, because newer is always better, but there could be a situation where, the new Salina schools that get built around Legacy Hills, or the middle schools or whatnot, do start having a little, maybe there'll be a new middle school, there definitely will be a new elementary school, but the more middle schools over there, and that one seems to be rated pretty decent, but over on that side of things, there's also going to be way more amenities over there, and I think there's going to be more commercial developments over on that side, and you're going to be off the Dallas North Tollway. So I don't know what's gonna at the end of the day, I have no idea what areas are gonna appreciate better, but I do have a general idea on what the trends are, and I usually want to follow the trends, or at least tell my buyers about the trends. And it does seem like more people want to be into Salina with that school district rather in Little Elm School District or the Denton School District. Now the Denton School District, I think that's where Spiritus Ranch is located within. I've talked with other families that buy within Prairie Oaks over off 720. It's that other neighborhood that's on the south side of Spiritus Ranch. And I'll tell them, and we'll go back and forth about, this is what the rating of the school districts are. Do you care about that? And they'll be like, no, I'm homeschooling my kid. So it seems like, and I've heard this a couple times, it seems like more of the people that are buying in like the Aubrey area, Denton area, Little Elm area are homeschooling their kids, and then the people that are putting their kids in like Salina, Frisco, McKinney, Prosper, Melissa, those kids are actually going into a public school system. And then I have some other families that are like, if you're buying around Fort Worth, if you're not going into Argyle ISD or Northwest ISD, and you're maybe into one of the other ISDs, that kid might be going into like a charter school or something like that, because some of the school districts around Fort Worth or South Fort Worth are typically not the best. But to answer his question, right now, like, you're just going to have to live with the fact over at Legacy Hills, and I'll show you guys where Legacy Hills is going to be located. It's going to be right up here. It's going to be in this section. So you have the Dallas Parkway, that's this road here, and then up into this area. So you can see the Beezer Homes Enclave at Legacy Hills, which I'll probably do a video here soon, actually, over that community. I'm just kind of waiting for things to get built up. The past like 4 videos I've done, they've all been neighborhoods that have no homes built up, which I like doing because I want people to get ahead of things and see things that are just like no one's bought into, right? But I know that also doesn't really help you guys kind of understand what the homes are actually going to look like and a better feel for the community. But that's why I'm kind of waiting on this one to get a little bit further done. Getting some homes up, but that's where that's located. So you have the Dallas North Tollway that goes down here, then you're into Prosper, and then a little bit further down is where like the Fields of Frisco and the Omni PJ. Now, that being said, you have the Omni Frisco here, and then just over to the left, here's Spiritus Ranch. So Spiritus Ranch is going to be next to all these amenity things. So I really don't know if, maybe it was a better builder going in at Legacy Hills. I'd be like, yeah, Legacy Hills is a little bit better, but they're the same builders going in there. I mean, at the end of the day, right now I'd probably take Spiritus Ranch, but I don't care about school districts. I don't care about any of that stuff. So, I don't have a kid going into school, so I'd probably take Spiritus Ranch just because I like being closer into Frisco in those areas, because you can take 720 down and then hop on to El Dorado. I do think in general, both those areas are great to build equity into the house, because like, you're at the beginning stages of that neighborhood, and as that neighborhood goes through its phases, you're going to start seeing more equity on that house, because the home construction prices are just going to continue to get more expensive, because that's just what happens with new construction, unfortunately. And I've had buyers come in recently that are looking to buy, but then I've also had families I've been working with since 2021 and I just closed on a house with a family I've been working since 2022, and they just bought this month. So you got some of those people that have been kind of on the sidelines for the past 2 years, and they're buying houses right now as well. Interest rates will be interesting on what they do. I don't know if you guys caught the Fed meeting, but the Fed meeting, the chair Powell said, he kind of came out and said like, we're kind of at our peak, but then again, they're still seeing strong wage growth right now. And I think that's another problem, is that you have wages still too strong into the economy, and then we're just going to be back in the same scenario. So I think it'll come down to a point where, is it worth it for the Fed to get down to 2%, and what all needs to break for them to get down to 2%, or is it just okay for them to stay at 3%, and we're just going to be in this range of like the 10-year treasury being in between 6 to 10%? Because I have families right now going under contract with pre-owned houses, and they're locking in at like a 6.6, doing a bit of a buy down on their points and stuff like that. Now the new construction, I've seen stuff coming in at a 2.99, not a fixed rate, it's kind of a buy down, and then I have some other ones that I'm seeing a 5.99 fixed rate as well. So I guess it kind of depends on the builder. because they're all kind of doing different things in different neighborhoods. I mean, each builder in each different neighborhood within each different city handles their business way differently. Like, I had a family go under contract up in Van Alstyne in Thompson Farms on a 40-foot lot with a Highland home, and they did a contingency because they have a ranch that they own up in Oklahoma, and that home is actually under contract with a buyer, but the problem is that buyer doesn't have their ranch over in Broken Bow. So a lot of things have to happen for them to end up qualifying for that house. But what the builder did up in Van Alstyne, because they're just sitting on more inventory right now, is that house was listed at $600K. They dropped it down to $575, I think they dropped it down, and then they only took a contingency, and they'll refund earnest as well. So up in Van Alstyne, you're having deals go down with these, a Highland home where they're doing a contingency on selling your house, and if you don't sell your house, and this is a quick move, and that's going to be done by September 1st. And if you can't sell that house, we'll give you your $10,000 back. That doesn't happen. It can happen. Always depends on the market we're in, but that doesn't happen that often over in like the Salina neighborhoods, the Prosper neighborhoods, and those things. That's tend to happen a little bit more on the neighborhoods that are a little bit further up. So the best deals I'm coming across are the ones that are a little bit more on the outskirts of Salina, Frisco, McKinney, and they're sitting on some good inventory, and they're doing deals there. So that's maybe what some deals look like. But that was all the way up in Van Alstyne, and that neighborhood is up here. So you're all the way up here in these areas. So like Thompson Farms, this neighborhood here. You got Brightland homes in there, and then you got Highland homes. But I would take a Highland home over a Brightland home at the end of the day. I also like being on like the west side of 75 with these neighborhoods over here. That's usually if someone comes in, and I have people that come in and they ask about Anna, Texas. So the frustrating thing with Anna, Texas right now is like they're putting new construction in there, but the builders in there I think the nicest builder in that area is Bloomfield Homes within those neighborhoods. And if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, no, excuse me, I would even say First Texas Homes over at Village of Hurricane. Yeah, I would say Village of Hurricane Creek is probably the best Anna neighborhood that I would say when it comes to builder. And you guys know how I feel about like First Texas Home or Bloomfield Homes. So they're not the worst, they're not the best, they're kind of just, I don't hate them. I don't hate any builder. I don't have any animosity towards any builder, but I just don't, when you walk into those homes, you don't, they feel more like the cookie cutter side of things, right? Like what I was saying at the beginning of this video. Now you walk into a Highland home, those you typically feel a little bit more luxury, I will say. They're technically not, I wouldn't say they're not really luxury when you're on a 40-foot lot. Like they're still pretty standard with some stuff, but they do at least allow you to pick some things. But I just find with Anna, Texas right now, like the builders within there, they're not really that good. So really it's Melissa or up in Van Alstyne where these kind of nicer builders are going in, where you could actually feel like you're customizing the home and stuff. Does anyone want to leave a comment, or am I just going to have to just keep on blabbering about? I've been on a roll here for like the past 20 minutes. Yeah, we got 7 people watching right now, so we got some views. Anyone want to leave a question, a neighborhood address, a builder question? Maybe you're looking at stuff right now, or maybe you just started your home search, you're trying to figure out things. Help me out here, guys, or else I'm just going to keep scrolling through these old comments I have to talk about some stuff. Anyone? Alright, I'll make sure I don't skip out on these live streams each week, because I know that's hurting me right now. People probably gave up on me, and we're like, oh, he hasn't done it for 3 weeks, he's dead. But I've been trying to make videos, and I got a lot of stuff planned right now. Alright, so just know going into like May 1st, I'm gonna have videos coming. Like I've got a whole game plan going on right now, so we'll have even more stuff. So if you're coming back to this live stream video, definitely leave a comment about some other neighborhoods, or if you're watching the video live stream right now, let me know down in the chat what you guys want me to go do videos of, or go tour, or go check out. Let me know. Anyways, alright, let's keep going through these old comments just because I have nothing really else to talk about. Adrian-LX9UK 7 days ago left a message on the Spiritus Ranch video and said, "You mentioned sacrificing builder quality. How bad is it? Question mark." I love how I said question mark. I think we all know that's a question. Will these homes need a ton of work done after purchase? And I left a pretty lengthy reply on that, and I said, not necessarily. Homes are just going to feel a lot more standard. However, reputation does play into this, and I see a lot more families running into issues with these builders, not all, compared to some of the other ones. And what I mean running into problems with the builder, I mean like at the end of the day, the builder doesn't have to fix anything really, because everything's getting passed by the city. So, you know, you could bring a third party inspection and say this needs to be fixed, and the builder could give you some attitude. But I do also think that we live in an age of like media and social media and leaving reviews and stuff. So I think now we're in the best time to like hold a builder accountable than them not wanting to work with you and just kind of let you deal with it. So but I do find some situations where some families won't. They'll try to get something fixed, and the builder will kind of give them a little bit of a kickback. Not a kickback in the sense of like money and stuff. I mean like not wanting to like help them out. They'll do most things, but sometimes and that's on the lower end builders. Now, if you go with like a Highland home, I've seen Highland homes like literally just write a blank check to fix something on like the countertop. So like, and that goes more with like the reputation of these builders, right? On kind of the higher end. So I said every neighborhood is different, and every project manager building a home or that superintendent who handles your build is different in what their standard of quality is. The name of the builder is not actually like. And I said this, the name of the builder is not actually building your home, it's going to be the actual person who is hiring out the third-party contractors to build the home. And that essentially means, like, I'll go around some of these neighborhoods, and I'll see the same contractor, but at a different builder. So it might be the same person framing up the house, or unless they've got some type of large contract and they're just doing those homes. I've seen sometimes where I've seen the same contractor at different build sites, but with a different builder too. So it's sometimes the same third-party contractor, but it's whatever that superintendent or that project manager and what their level of or standard of quality is and what their experience is. I said you also have to keep in mind that some of these builders are putting up a ton of homes all at one time. So basic economics, right? If you increase supply, or if you increase your production, your quality control goes down as well. So that's just simple economics. So these neighborhoods that are putting up 30 homes at a time down one street, a project manager, they might have a few project managers, but that's still a lot of houses all happening all at one time, and all these people walking through these houses. So things are going to fall through the crack, unlike some of these other builders where they're maybe just putting 2 to 3 contracts down on a month, or 5 contracts down, and they've got 2 project managers handling those builds, and that's only 2 to 3 homes that they're handling kind of each month that they go through. So that's kind of the other thing you got to think about. When you see these huge neighborhoods getting built, I mean, it's cool, you're going to get the amenities, you're going to get all that stuff, but also you have to keep in mind, bigger neighborhoods, more homes getting built, quality control can go down a bit more. But that goes back into like, working with the builder that has like a higher reputation, because you should be on the fine side of things, if you are buying into a community that is kind of bigger, with a lot more homes within it. I said you also have to keep in mind, I guess, that being said, the Riceland homes were only doing inventory homes, so that's another sketch thing, because I'm thinking about that now too, because Lennar over in Spiritus Ranch was doing that as well, but Riceland homes over in Mantua Point, now those Riceland homes felt way better than anything I'm going to walk through over at Spiritus Ranch, but I do think it's just a bit sketch to me that the builder is just doing it with all their homes. It's like they're trying to hide something. Kind of interesting. That being said, I've talked with inspectors I work with, and they have been through homes with these builders, and they have been fine, sometimes not so fine. It comes down to the relationship you have with your project manager and trying to hold them accountable for things that they messed up on along the way. I'll tell you right now, every single new construction contract I have put under contract, or every new construction home inspection I put under contract, whether it be before they pour the foundation, whether it be before they put up the drywall, whether it be right before closing, nothing has came out perfect. I've had Highland homes come out with problems. I've had Beezer home. I've had Taylor Morrison homes come out with some small problems. Now these are just some small minor things. These aren't things that are going to be, hazardous or structural problems that are going to be safety concerns. I've never ran into like major safety concerns. Those seem to be okay, but sometimes you'll come across maybe some outlets were installed upside down. Maybe what else do I see? One of the number one things I see on inspection reports when it comes to like the pre-drywall is on the outside, the sheathing. Okay, that seems to be where like these builders kind of get the most lazy is the sheathing and the tape they put on there, and then maybe holes in the sheathing as well. So, when you're walking your build and you're going to look at things, definitely watch the sheathing and if everything's taped up, because that's what's going to make your house, air-proof and air solid from things coming into the home and just making it more efficient. So that's usually the number one thing I find. And then also sometimes they don't. I'm trying to think about what else. What else should I find? I would say that's the number one thing. Like when you go through the drywall, you're gonna like there might be a window that's cracked. There might be some things like that, but usually the builder isn't fixing those things till really right at the end. So I think it's more about like, I think one of the main things I look at when you're doing a pre-drywall inspection or when you're walking your builds is watch your AC return vents and the vents that go into the rooms for the air, because you'll have points where they might do like a 90-degree right turn and there's not going to be good airflow. So especially on like 2-story homes where they start putting it through like the subfloor and it's in the middle, and they start kind of working it through different angles, just watch how crimped those vents are, because you'll have like the water lines and all this stuff kind of running through, and you just want to make sure that there's good airflow going through. So that's kind of the one major thing I do look at before pre-drywall goes down for that stuff. Okay, what are some other questions? It looks like we have a good amount of people just listening to me talk. I mean, you guys are welcome to leave a question. Does anyone have one question? Just give me one. This person says, thank you so much for this video and information. You're welcome. This person says, they all look the same, no personality at all. And they left that on Windsong Ranch neighborhood. Man, I would say the Windsong Ranch homes, unless you're buying a trophy signature or maybe some of those Coventry homes or maybe those Normandy homes, a lot of the other homes in there look really nice and pretty custom. I mean, you got Partners in Building, you got Shattuck Customs within there. A lot of those, I mean, even tradition homes you got in there too, which do look pretty nice. So I wouldn't say they look quite all the same. Zodiac 08 leaves a comment and he says, how many years do you think before the outer loop becomes 8 lanes? I don't know if it's really going to become 8 lanes. It could become 8 lanes, but I would definitely think like it would be like 6 lanes at some point too. But the developer over at Mustang Lakes, well, they're the same developer, but excuse me, it's the developer for Parks at Wilson Creek. They're the same person. Where's Mustang? Oh, I'm over here. We're back over in Salina. So here's Parks at Wilson Creek. Here's the Collin County Outer Loop, right? It ends here at Coit Road. I think that is. Is that Coit? Is that Custer? No, it's Custer. Dang it. I always get that confused. I always get Custer and Coit confused. This is where the Collin County Outer Loop ends along Custer. So you've got Parks at Wilson Creek, and then you've got this neighborhood going down in here. I don't know what this neighborhood is. I gotta figure out what that neighborhood is. That's a new one going in. It looks like they got lots putting up there. I haven't seen anything on that. Interesting. Actually, let me go to my MLS. I want to see who owns this land right here. Maybe I can ask you guys a question. Where are you guys watching from? I'd like to know where you guys are. You guys in the Dallas area, or some of you guys watching from California? Anyone? Search Salina. I want to look at who owns this map. What states are you guys watching my videos from or relocating from? Right now, my number one is California or New Jersey. Maryland. I'm getting some Maryland people too. That's interesting. What's going on in Maryland? Is it just too cold? Are people done with it? That's what my New Jersey people say. My New Jersey people say we're just done with the cold. So we're going to move to the complete opposite. We're going to move to fire, which is Texas. Texas is hot. Alright, hold on. I'm trying to see who owns this land. 10 Mile Creek LLC. That's farmland. Alright, it hasn't changed. I gotta figure out what this neighborhood is right here. I gotta figure out. That might be a rent-to-own community, but we'll figure it out. Alright, Cincinnati. Okay, Maryland, Cincinnati. Yeah, it seems like I'm getting a few East Coast things going on. I mean, California is still my number one, but it seems like a lot of people from the East Coast are moving out here to Dallas, which is kind of interesting to me. I don't know. Why are you guys moving out or looking out in the Dallas area? Alright, so got a comment left here. Any idea Cibolo Hills? Okay, hold on. Let me get this pulled up for the people that don't know where this is located. Alright, let's go to this community. I think this one was over in Fort Worth, right? Yeah, this one's in Fort Worth. So, let me pull this up. Alright, so we got a question about Cibolo Hills. Alright, so here's the thing you got to keep in mind over here is that most of the stuff in this area is going to be pretty much California people are jacking up home price in Texas with their big money they bring in. Well, unfortunately, it's not just California, but it's people from all around the U.S. But yes, is majority of people coming from California? Yes, you're not wrong about that. But I think it's also a whole bunch of people coming in. I think if people were just coming in from California, I don't think we'd be experiencing what we're experiencing. I think it's people, not just U.S., but I talk with people from Europe that are also moving to Dallas. So it's not just people from California, but I think it's just people. Okay, so this neighborhood here, just know like this area gonna be pretty underdeveloped. Okay, the lighting infrastructure, some of those things are pretty subpar than kind of what's a little bit further into Hazlitt. Now you are close to like kind of the main shopping center of things, so like down in this area. You also have Medical City Alliance, so there's hospitals. You're right off 287, not too far away from that. I will say there is a airport over in this area. I didn't notice it, like it's a fairly small airport over here, but you might notice at times some planes flying over here. But I mean, even families that live in Frisco, all the way, you got the DFW airport here, or you got Love Field that's over here, right? You'll still notice some of these flight patterns coming in across Lake Louisville over Frisco and then kind of wrapping back down around Plano and then going and landing. So even the people that live up in Frisco and Prosper, you're still going to notice some of those more commercial planes. But this isn't a commercial airfield in here. I think it's a little bit more private. But that's just another thing to kind of think about. Everything else around here is just still kind of getting built out, so it's still fresh, so you're still probably going to find something that's relatively cheaper than more of the stuff over in Hazlitt, or even just a little bit further down the street into some of these neighborhoods over there. So you have Lennar that's also building at like North Point, and then you have some stuff along the lake too. So you got Eagle Mountain Lake. So there's kind of like this gap of like nothing, right? Usually the lakes will bring in some type of economy, so you'll have just people building around that and just neighborhoods. But over here right now, not a whole bunch of stuff going on. If you guys want me to go more out to Fort Worth, I mean, I'm happy to go more out to Fort Worth. I just, right now, I kind of go by what people are leaving comments on. So if you want me to go check out Cibolo Hills, I definitely can go check that out. I just usually don't go out that far for things because more people are looking over into these areas here. But I do have some people that start looking over into the Hazlitt area because they work over in Keller. There's some big headquarters that are along 114. Is there a lot of oil drilling in that area? Yeah, there is. There is a lot of oil drilling in that area too. That's the other thing. I think you could probably see it all the way. I mean, maybe you guys can see it from the map. But yeah, you're going to have a lot of oil drilling over there too. Are they harmful? I'd be more worried about being next to a landfill rather than oil drilling. I don't necessarily think oil drilling is a huge problem. There's nothing really. I mean, I'm not an oil driller, so I don't really know. I'm not an environmentalist, but I definitely would take oil drilling over like a landfill or living over, like right over the DFW airport where you're just breathing in airplane exhaust all day. What's the best Dallas suburb will you recommend for first-time home buyer? So how far away from Dallas are you wanting to be? Like, are you wanting to actually be in the city of Dallas, or are you wanting to be like, Prosper, Salina, and you're still like in Dallas? Because back when I was a kid, when I was traveling around and playing hockey and going up to Minnesota and telling people where I lived, I would always say like I'm from Dallas. I wouldn't say I'm from Frisco because no one knew what Frisco was. But I think at this point, I think a lot of people know what Frisco is. So I think people that have lived out here for a long time, like I still say I'm from Dallas, but that's what I've grown up saying because just no one knows Frisco. But I think now people say like I'm from Frisco because they know what it is. All right, 40 minutes from downtown. Okay, so we got a few questions in here. All right, 4Y44 in football edits. I like that username. What do you think of Collinsbrook by first? Okay, I'll get to you in a second. Let me finish answering this question about what I think the best 40 minutes from downtown Dallas is. So let me look at this neighborhood. Let's see how long this is. Directions. Alright, so this one's 48 minutes. Is that too long for you? Is 48 minutes too long? Because I really do think that this neighborhood here is the best for first-time home buyers right now. Because you're right off 75. Anna's going to get built out with all its commercial stuff. If you can go just 8 more minutes now, today is Sunday, so you're getting pretty good traffic, but I've seen sometimes in the mornings it still say 45 minutes. But that's kind of the next thing for first-time home buyers, because I'm going to guess you're probably looking under 600K or 650 if you're a first-time home buyer. If you're in that 500 range, you're going to need to be going out further here into kind of just the areas where just things aren't quite developed, like kind of north of Princeton. You have like East Ridge and South Ridge. I'd also recommend those communities too for a first-time home buyer. Or you're all the way up in Salina and you just need to wait for another 3 years for the Dallas North Tollway to get built out, and you'll still probably have the same type of commute down to Dallas. However, just think about this, guys. When you are living in Salina, this Dallas North Tollway is going to take up a lot of tolls. So that's why I kind of recommend people living off 75 Highway if they have to commute down to Dallas. I really like these areas up here. Kind of better than some of the northern Salina areas that get north of downtown Dallas or downtown Salina and north of that, because then if you're looking at places north of downtown Salina, I think you also need to start considering maybe Van Alstyne or Anna, Texas, because at that point, if you have it in your mind that you're going to be traveling down to Dallas, I mean, you could be spending like $80 a week on tolls to get down to Dallas easily. I mean, take it from me, I'm a real estate agent driving on these tollways all the time. I probably spend like $160 a month on tolls. $160 a month on tolls. I mean, if I'm spending a lot of money on tolls, that means I'm having a lot of meetings, which means I'm making some money, and when I think about it that way, I'm justifying it, but I guess the money's got to be worth it. Alright, so football edits. Let's answer your question now. What do you think about Collinsbrook Farms for First Texas homes in Frisco? I think they're super overpriced. I wouldn't be buying a First Texas home at that price point, but then again, you might just care about being in Frisco. That's what I got to say about that. I mean, it's in a great area. You're going to be zoned for a really good school district, but I mean, I'd just go a little bit further up into it depends on what you care about. Like, do you care about being obviously if you're looking at a First Texas home, Collinsbrook, you probably care more about being in Frisco and being zoned for a really good school district, but I'd rather be up in Cambridge Crossing or the parks at Wilson Creek with a nicer builder and just as in an even better community with amenities and new schools. But then again, you might have a commute that's got to be closer. So I just, when it comes to First Texas Homes, like I'll walk with families through First Texas Homes and like they're not impressed. Like I had one guy say, we were walking the house, which it just felt so funny. He like, we walked through a First Texas Home and he's like, it feels like a ginormous sterile convention center. Which I just thought was like the funniest take on a First Texas Home. And I'm like, that's pretty good. It's like, I might use that. Alright, what do I think about the Burleson area? Alright, let's just pull this area up just so people can kind of understand where this is at. These are some good questions I'm getting right now, guys. Anyone else? We got 14 viewers, so we're coming in hot now. I guess people are still kind of waking up. The Sunday scaries are hitting everyone. Okay, let's do this. Let's just look up Burleson. Burleson. Okay. Okay, so Burleson, Texas. I mean, I don't even do business out here. Okay. But I will say that this area down here, it's off 35 West, so if you got to commute into Fort Worth, I think that's fine. But I think the school districts around these areas, I find more people that are buying like over here in South Fort Worth, or just families I know, have their kids in charter schools rather than the actual public school systems. So I think if you care about school districts and stuff, maybe this isn't best. I would rather be in the Mansfield area, like South Mansfield, maybe in the Midlothian area rather than in Burleson. But it also depends on like if you're having to commute into Fort Worth, because then it's just going to be a little bit better of a commute. But I don't really do business out here in Burleson. Really, the furthest I go maybe is out here where Walsh is. I think that's kind of the furthest I take my business right now. I don't really do South Fort Worth. So, I mean, I'll do Mansfield occasionally, but I mean, once you start getting out to like Joshua, Burleson, I'm usually not really going that far. I don't really do stuff in Waxahachie. I mean, Midlothian's probably like kind of the furthest I get out towards things. So, I don't really have like a crazy opinion on it just because I'm not in those areas that much, because I just don't want to do business. I don't really go make videos around those areas because I just don't want to do business over there. Alright, anyone else got questions? I guess it was a little quiet right at the beginning, but then we got a little hot. We got a little hot with people. So I think this has been kind of helpful for people, hopefully. And then just watch my videos, because I'll probably say something in my videos here soon about when I'm doing live streams, just so you guys can stay up to date on that. I might start doing them Wednesdays, like Wednesday or Tuesday afternoon, when people kind of get off work, because I think Sundays are sometimes hard for people, because Sundays are usually like you're going out and looking at stuff or driving around or with your family. So it's just the day that I found I could do some stuff, but now with open houses and listings coming back and just the normal real estate market kind of heating back up, and I got quite a bit of families coming out at the end of this month. Some from Las Vegas, got a family from the East Coast. Thank you, so helpful. Always watch your videos. Oh, thanks, man. Or woman. I don't know. I don't want to say thanks. I jumped the gun there. I don't want to say thanks, man, if you're not a man, but thank you. Appreciate that. What else? Did I answer all these? And then I have my contact information down below, so if you want to give me a call or reach out or text me, I would love to work with you guys as well on your home search, or just send you guys some more details. Even if you're working with an agent already, I have some people come in and they'll be like, oh, I'm already working with an agent. I get a lot of, I just came across your videos. I wish I would have started working with you. I already have an agent. I'm so sorry, but can you please answer these questions? I'll answer them the first time, but I ain't. If you keep calling me, I'm like, bro. I'm like, your agent should answer these things. Like, that's why you're working with them and signing an agreement. Okay, if I don't get any other questions right now, all right, I'm gonna give it like 30 more seconds. Any last questions before I end the live stream today? Anyone? One more question? Ronaldo Lee, I came across your videos after closing a deal at the parks, but I wish I had used you. I always enjoy your videos. Hey, you know what? I also don't mind it if you've closed on a house and you're done with your home search, but you're still coming across and watching my videos. Like, that's awesome too. Like, I always had that thought in my head. I'm like, you know, all the families that I put under contract, I wonder if they still watch my videos even after I put them under contract. And I hope so. So that's great. Like, even if you closed the deal at the parks, I'm still happy that you're coming back and watching my videos. That's all I can ask for at the end of the day. All right, so do you recommend building or buying what's already available? Well, I mean, I personally would go for a quick move-in inventory house. Like, that's where you're gonna get the best deal, and then the house is also gonna be like somewhat ready for you too, and you don't have to go through like the whole process. Especially because like relocation people, sometimes, you know, they'll go with a builder, and that builder will have like 2 or 3 meetings with you at the design center and all this stuff, and that's a lot of flying back and forth, and that can be hard on a family that also has like a kid and doesn't want to spend a bunch of money flying back and forth from California or the East Coast or something like that. So, you know, I find it that like a quick move-in house or a move-in ready house is where you're gonna find like the best deal, and then it's also new construction. So if you can find like a quick move-in ready house that's also in a neighborhood that's maybe in its phase 1 or phase 2, I think that's also really good, because you're gonna get like the best deal on that house, and you're also gonna probably see some decent equity come out of that house as that builder goes through its next phases. Just because of the new construction prices just continue to get more expensive, unfortunately, for buyers. That's kind of how it's working. The parks at Wilson Creek is what he's talking about. So unless your budget, if you're looking for a 40K lot, your budget's probably going to have to be north of 600K within that neighborhood. That neighborhood's been increasing prices pretty good, but it's up here. It's along the Collin County Outer Loop. I would say that's probably my #1 favorite community right now. Ronaldo Lee, hopefully I'm saying that right. If you live on Lafayette, I've got quite a bit of families that live around you if you're on that, or if you're on Boboli. That's such a funny street name, but if you live on Lafayette, I probably know your neighbor. I have a good amount of houses under contract on that neighborhood, because that whole street is still getting built out, but maybe not. Maybe you're not on that street because it's already... Oh, you're on Diamond Head Place. Nice. Okay. But yeah, Parks at Wilson Creek, that could be another neighborhood that you know, if you're looking for that. But if you gotta have a pretty strong budget within that community, and you also have to be fine with paying a pretty high HOA and also a PID. The PID in there is probably around $2,400 a year, and then you're gonna have an HOA at like $147 a month. Now, I do believe they take care of front yard maintenance and things like that within the HOA. As well, but it's gonna have a whole bunch of amenities. Like, that's like and you're gonna have the 100-acre park on the north side. So like, that's my #1 community right now. I think if you can buy anything under $1 million within that community right now in its phase 1, like that's what's up. Because word on the street is, I've got some intel. They're gonna be bringing 74-foot lots. Highland Homes and Tradition Homes are gonna be doing 74-foot lots within the parks at Wilson Creek. So anyone that bought a 60-foot lot at like $800K with a Tradition Home or a Perry Home within this past year, you guys are going to be looking pretty good once they put in those 74-foot lots later on, and those are going to be $1 million plus. Okay, hopefully people took away some things from this live stream today. I didn't bring a water, and I'm getting very, very thirsty because I've just been talking. Who's the builder at Parks at Wilson Creek? You have Tradition Homes, Highland Homes, Perry Homes, David Weekley, and if you're looking for a 50-foot lot and you're on a budget, I would go with the David Weekley homes. I have some homes under contract right now. The new construction, the inspection reports have been coming back good. They're they're going to be lower end than the Highland, the Tradition homes, but they are on the higher end when I compare them to like a Taylor Morrison or a Pulte or a what else? What's another builder that's kind of in that range? I guess Brightland Home as well. Those, you know, I like the David Weekley. Like if you're in a budget and you don't want to all the way compromise on quality, right? I would go with the David Weekley. Those are pretty good on a 50-foot lot. But Kimpies, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'll just call you KK. KK, send me a text. I can send you over some more details and we can start getting some things narrowed down. Do you have a link where we can check that builder with the inspection report? I don't have. I mean, if you want to work together and you want to like sign an agreement with me and we're going to buy a house, yeah, I'll start sending over like specific things. But I'm not just going to be sending out random inspection reports or contracts to people. So I don't have anything like that that has a link towards stuff. But if you actually want to work with me, yes, I can start sending you out specific things and give you a better idea on builders. But go to my Salina playlist. I have a ton of videos over this community and all the builders as well. So if you just go to my Salina playlist, should be able to kind of get an idea on what's going on with that community as well. Yeah, of course. Okay. I guess I'll see you guys next Sunday. Hopefully, I'm gonna do a better job. I know the past 3 weeks I've just been so busy with stuff, but like I said, maybe Wednesday. Just follow up with my videos this next week. I might make an announcement, and I might be doing stuff starting Tuesday or Wednesdays. I gotta find time for this because I think the live streams are pretty important for people as well because it allows me to connect with people actually, and it's just harder to connect with people when it's like you guys watch my video, then you leave a comment, and then I'm answering that comment a day later. Like live streams are really good for people coming in, and I can kind of talk with people right then and there and answer their questions. So, all right, I will see you guys next Sunday. Hopefully, we're gonna go with that.